For months, I've been looking into the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. Just him, as a person, I've been looking into him. And not so surprisingly, I've made a lot of intriguing findings that I will go over today. Firstly, let's look into the socio-political factors that are involved with Mark Zuckerberg. I feel that I can safely say that Mark Zuckerberg does have a rather large-scale influence on the Facebook application. You know, considering that he is chief executive officer and stuff. Now, on the other hand, when we take a closer look at Mark Zuckerberg as an individual being, we can put a pin on his social skills, and we can see that they are very, very weak. I would say that they're actually quite pathetic, even more than mine, which really says a lot. When we take Mark's awkwardness into account, naturally we would want to avoid a freak show like him in order not to follow in his footsteps of being the way that he is. The way in which he acts is not only extremely unnatural and painful to watch, but it is also humiliating to be on the same plane of existence as him. And I feel that I can speak for most people when I say that. Fortunately, I strongly and passionately resent Mark Zuckerberg as a person, which, come to think of it, has always allowed my inner anger and hatred for him to come about naturally. This planet would be filled with so much abundance, love, peace, and harmony if Mark would just be put in his place and be told to shut the fuck up and never speak again. God, I hate him so much. Ideally, if we were living in a planet where peace, love, and harmony were always present, a lot of the conflict that has occurred or is yet to occur would be avoided far more easily. But with the constant presence of a negative entity like Mark, this becomes much more difficult to attain. Now that I feel that I have been able to provide enough reasoning and information on why Mark Zuckerberg is an extreme nuisance and problem to all of us, it's time to take a step back and take a step towards the answer to the problem. So what is the answer, Shinny? Well, I am willing to take Mark Zuckerberg on. I challenge him to a cage match. I am fairly confident that I can take him on. I don't think that it would be too difficult for me, in all honesty. Considering the fact that my current height resides at roughly 7 feet tall, I would say that it's very close to the height of forest trolls in Skyrim, which grants me instant access to defeating Mark Zuckerberg far more easily. I feel that all the pain and sorrow in this world would be totally diminished in a cage match, whereas allowing Mark to be the way that he is today would result in mass destruction and a more dystopian future in the coming years. Despite the fact that I will face no difficulty whatsoever when fighting Mark, it will still be extremely difficult for me to be in the same ring as Mark Zuckerberg, even if only briefly. I think that it takes a lot of courage. What do I even aim to achieve from all of this though? Well, I will restore world peace, induce fear in Mark Zuckerberg, and then I will neutralize him. There isn't much more to add, really. All that is left now is for Mr. Zuckerberg to accept my challenge, unless he is a coward, of course. He is quite scrawny and thin, so I'm not entirely sure if he will be willing, but it's worth a shot. So Mark, do you accept? This video is indeed a threat. I am deranged. Look into my eyes, Mark. Anyways, I will continue to target philanthropists individually, but in order to keep doing that, I'm going to need you to check out today's sponsor, my YouTube channel. That's right, I'm sponsoring myself.